with some RPGs that aren't going to take any guff from these aliens or accept their new way, are they going to fire back some sort of heat ray and destroy them, or are they going to send them to these underground bases to work on their mind?
They don't have to do anything like that, Daniel. If they wanted to, in 3 seconds they can neutralize anything. They can make every knife permanently dull if they want to.
Okay.
No gun can fire.
Okay. Oh, okay. They'll disable their weaponry
instantly.
Okay.
Well, they've already shown that with nuclear weapons. They've turned them on and turned them off at will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to which event are you referring?
There are a couple of events that a lot of military personnel have done at various Minuteman bases, where the ships came in and turned off military warheads, turned them completely down to zero radioactivity, and then after a while turned them back up.
So nobody's going to get close enough to stab them with a knife?
Right. We have to understand that the fields they're bringing down are about peace and love. It's not about war and being upset with people or nothing. Yeah. The idea is of complete disclosure, and because they're completely telepathic, they know what you're thinking immediately. I mean,
Sheldan, would you consider
the purpose of what they're doing is not to create negative energies on this planet. It's to help those people who might still be negative or upset about things, to move them from that into a different space of loving, caring, and cooperation aspects, instead of energies about you are so-and-so, et cetera. They're not down here to create. If they were here to do an invasion, they would have done it long ago. Because technology-wise, they're so far ahead of us, it's a joke.
Okay. Yes, that sounds so good. Hey, would you consider yourself like a sort of a John the Baptist of the aliens, kind of the precursor?
I don't really consider myself a precursor. I consider myself just a messenger.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm not really any John the Baptist or anything else. I'm just me.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, not to continue with the dead horse here, but you're talking. There's still billions of people here, and I've had people come on the show and saying there's a new age of enlightenment coming, but we still have whole countries that are wanting to nuke other countries and cut people's heads off. I mean, there's so much hate and murder in this world. I'm not seeing 2012 as anywhere near the kind of time it takes to get rid of some of these people that only think about murder.
Well, what happens is, and this is one of the technologies that people got to see an insight in the secret governments, was how fast you can turn a person's basic emotions around. And of course, they tried to use it for negative aspects. And of course, the dark aliens only let them use certain aspects of it in a very limited way. But the process is, we have to understand that as human beings, limited conscious human beings, our emotional patterns are set up in certain preconceptions. And once those preconceptions are altered or changed, or certain emissaries that we know of from either religious or other viewpoint are met, and the energy is confirmed, then the mistrust and the hatred and the other aspects involved with it shift also. So what we have to understand is, we are a society that has been manipulated, controlled for a long, long time into division, hatred, etc. And advanced races and people, when they come down here, and also emissaries from our religious and other past who are the ascended masters come, they can shift that very, very fast when the right divine moment for it to happen occurs. So what we have to understand is, everything is possible. And as it even says in the Bible, anything can change in the wink of an eye. And so we have to understand that the shift, while at times it seems to be overwhelmingly impossible to happen in a very quick period of time, it can happen.
Wait a minute,
we have to maintain the energy.
Didn't you just quote from a book that you don't believe is real?
I said that there's not everything in that book is not real, but I'm saying is a large part of it was just shifted around because of the process. But wisdom in certain aspects about people is wisdom. It doesn't mean you don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Okay.
So to speak,
so
to use another old proverb.
Have you ever thought about, as a writer, because you've obviously written some bestsellers, of taking the Bible as it is and taking out and writing in another book, that those things that you have or believe that are real and correct and will stand the test of time? And how thick would that book be?
Well, basically, what they told me was, at the right moment, we'll get a book which translated from Syrian is the Book of Understanding, which is all the divine wisdom of the universe, and we will get that book and translate it simultaneously in all languages for all people to read. Or for people who are illiterate, they'll get it on different levels, like telepathically. So
okay.
We'll get incredible amounts of knowledge. That's not something I have to involve myself in years.
Do aliens ever make mistakes?
Well, what we have to understand is there were galactic wars that went on for a long, long time that the Dark was making lots of mistakes about. But that's a process that has happened for a long period of time in this galaxy, and this galaxy is shifting. One of the basic things that they've told me to be a basic part of my message is about peace and change, and it's not about right or wrong.
Are you saying they're done making mistakes? They don't make any now. They did, but now they don't.
There were some things that happened before, but that has to do with the galactic wars, and those were things that were part of a learning curve for various other races and peoples in this galaxy.
So they did, but they don't now.
It was part of a learning curve for other people in this galaxy. So I'm not going to put things in wrong context and get people thinking in wrong ways.
Well, Sheldon, maybe I need to speak in Cyrenian there because I'm asking, do they make any mistakes now?
No.
They're perfect?
They're pretty perfect, yeah. From all that
pretty or absolutely?
Well, they're still they may be divine beings, but they still are humans, and they will act in ways that are involved with human perceptions. But they have the ability, when they perceive things, to go back and look at it, and also to understand it from a divine aspect.
So if they make a mistake,
right and wrong, as we say here, really doesn't apply to this.
So if they make a mistake, then they can just blame it on somebody else. They didn't understand.
They don't blame anything. I was just trying to explain that to you, Daniel. The concept of right and wrong as we know it here on this planet is based on limited consciousness. It's not about... Well, the closest thing I can give it to you is the Time movie, where people see certain things happen and then they can change it. And everything happens out the way you want it. In other words, a divine right way. So the concept of right and wrong really doesn't apply to the...
Well, that works out pretty good, doesn't it?
What?
That works out pretty good for them. They're neither right nor wrong, and they can make any decision without having to think about it.
Well, they think about it a lot. It's all based upon very deep wisdoms that are changed between their particular clan groups, and the result is that what comes out is both approved by heaven as well as their guides as well as by themselves. So it's a divine decision. Okay,
so the aliens, they have their own people they're listening to as you're listening to them, and they're listening to somebody else, and those somebody else's are with God somewhere. Is that right? So there must be an intermediary between God and the aliens?
The only intermediary between God and the aliens are various divine beings that are part of heaven.
Okay, are they angels?
Right. Well, we could call them angels, archangels, seraphim, etc.
Have you ever talked to those people?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Do they have names?
Yeah, they have all kinds of names that are. Some of them sound very, very biblical.
What would that be?
Oh, Uriel, etc. I'm not going to get into all those. The names really aren't that important. Mm-hmm. One of the things that people have tried to do when I was writing Galactic Human was forcing me to use names when they kept telling me not to use names. Mm-hmm. Names are not really that important. What is important is the energy.
Important energy. Hey, we have this question here, and I think it goes back to part of our earlier conversation, Sheldan. And by the way, everybody, this is the Edge Radio broadcast. We're talking with Sheldan Nidle, and Planetary Activation Organization is what he's about. Sheldan, you mentioned, we were talking about the underground bases, and you said the dark aliens helped them build that, and they had mind control experiments down there, or they may still yet abduct people and perform mind experiments. But where did those dark aliens go? Did they run off?
There basically was a peace treaty signed between the dark and light energies in this galaxy. In other words, between the Galactic Federation and what they called the Alliance of Inchara, which is, as I told you, Inchara is the dark energy in the galaxy, and that ended these galactic wars. And right now, the Federation includes both sides, and the dark side energies are working very, very hard to learn about having light bodies, and to learn about galactic society, and learn about shifting the basic patterns of how they existed before. You mentioned that they have their advanced technology is so far advanced than ours. Would we be, as the War of the Worlds described us, as intelligent beings looking at amoebas? Well, I think with advanced beings, it's not kind of like looking at amoebas. It's just looking at at people who have what would be called a great magic, a great benevolent magic, looking at other people's who